A show of hands. Who here believes brick and mortar will still exist 10 years from now? So do we. See, this notion that brick and mortar is facing extinction due to e-commerce is a very strong exaggeration, especially when prominent tech companies are making their moves into the physical world. Take Amazon, for example. Earlier this month, they announced their investment into brick and mortar. What you may not have known is that they are planning a retail floor with no checkout and have patented a technology in which RFID is the foundation of its infrastructure. RFID, ladies and gentlemen, radio frequency identification. Now, I know the moment I said those three little words, some of you may have thought, oh, really? RFID? This isn't new. This is something that's been out there and has failed. Way too expensive. But I'd ask you to take those thoughts and set them aside, because today we are going to show you that this technology is a proven success. Capabilities are advancing faster than ever, and we are finally in a time where the prices have drastically declined. See, the time is now for the grocery industry to invest in a technology which brings a more appealing retail environment. We are Team Smart Store, and we know that item-level RFID is the crucial enabler to ensure that brick and mortar thrives within this industry. I'd like to go ahead and introduce you to my team, starting with Sal Costanza from Save Mart, Skylar Oswald from Brolem's, Bethany Blankmeyer from Smith's, Bob Icano from Cub, Andy Hotchkiss from Unilever, and I'm Jessica Rios from Pepsi Beverages Company. RFID implementation is not a task that we expect you to tackle alone. What we will be asking of you today is for the industry leaders sitting in this room to act now and join the GS1 item-level RFID workgroup to jointly develop an industry adoption strategy. See, GS1 will facilitate the discussions that need to be had between retailers, vendors, and industry associations to then aid and assist in testing the RFID technology within your stores. This platform is the first step, and early adopters will be able to reap the benefits that we will outline for you today. What if I told you there was a way to decrease your labor costs by 1%? Decrease your shrink by 1.5%, and increase your savings from out-of-stocks by 2%. I mean, who wouldn't be excited by that? Today, we are going to show you how item-level RFID is the tool to gain you these results. We will also take you through two areas within the store, specifically the shelf and the checkout. And we will show you ways to bring your store to life so that you can receive game-changing savings and sales growth. Now let's dive in deeper.
RFID has been a proven success since the 1940s, with Macy's being one of the main drivers and pioneers in the industry, driving in-stocks and accuracy on inventory maintained 97% or better, and they are driving sales. Out-of-stocks had virtually been eliminated due to the ability to accurately track any inventory anywhere along the value chain from supplier to consumer. Their merchandise vendors have become strategic partners in collaboration with the industry to further advance the technology. RFID applied at the pallet level provides similar benefits, increased efficiencies, job reduction, and inventory accuracy in warehouse systems. With the ability to accurately track inventory anywhere along the supply chain, RFID technology applied to shippers and promotions ensures that they actually make it out of the stockroom and onto the sales floor where we're generating the sales. With so many great successes out there in the industry, we have to ask the question, why not in grocery retail? Well, let's just talk about that big issue still in the room. The perception has always been that it is not feasible in an industry with such traditionally low margins. that costs are still too high and the ROI just isn't there. But we're here to tell you that that day is over. Costs have been driven down. With technology advancements, this is feasible in the grocery industry today. And not only have we had further advancements, but now we have more powerful, more stable, and affordable equipment solutions. Tag costs are the main reason that RFID technology has not been adopted into the grocery industry. But the great news is those costs have come down so drastically that tag costs today are approximately just 5 cents. 5 cents. RFID tags are critical to the implementation of Smart Shelf and Smart Gate. With continued advancements and adoption, we anticipate by 2025 that tag costs will cost as little as 1 cent. And that is feasible in grocery industry today. Now let's see what happens inside the store.
The Smart Shelf will be a game-changing contributor for the implementation of RFID in stores today. We can reduce shrink, reduce out-of-stocks, and we can increase sales. So let's take a look. Retailers will have two options for implementation of the Smart Shelf. First, we can either retrofit existing shelves with RFID readers, or we can implement fully digital shelves and tags. So first, this will help affect our item integrity in stores. Through direct connection with the corporate office, retailers can feel confident that the tag on the shelf maintains accurate pricing and product specifications at all times. And we'll also have full visibility of the product all the way across the value chain. So next time we encounter a recall, we'll have full visibility of all affected cases all the way across the supply chain. Now, the Smart Shelf will also allow us to have dynamic pricing at the shelf edge. So next time something starts to come up on code date, we can automatically adjust the price on the shelf based upon predetermined pricing rules set back at the corporate office. And then through improved inventory management, we can reduce inventory across the supply chain for both retailers and manufacturers. And while reducing inventory, we can simultaneously increase sales through a reduction of out-of-stocks. So let's see how a product can now come to life. Today's mobile devices can already interact through radio frequencies. This will allow retailers and manufacturers to utilize push marketing to send targeted offers and promotions to our consumers based upon their shopping habits. Now, consumers can also get engaged. So through these marketing efforts, we could send, well, imagine first, you're a consumer, and as you walk down the condiment aisle, you receive a promotion for your favorite barbecue sauce. Follow that up by a complimentary offer, or even a recipe solution based upon the items that are in your cart currently. Now, customers can interact directly through their mobile device as well. They can access shared data that's maintained on the tag, gain access to country of origin, allergen warnings, or a multitude of different nutritional information. But let's step back and take a look at the financials.
Smart Shelf will reduce shrink and also increase sales. Today, this industry averages approximately 3% in shrink. Smart Shelf can reduce that to 1.5%. In a store averaging $500,000 a week in sales, that's a $390,000 annual savings for one store. For 100 stores, it's $39 million. Now let's move on to sales. Out-of-stocks cost stores 4% of sales. Smart Shelf can reduce this number to 2%. These are very conservative numbers. This is a $584 billion industry. That 2% change in sales is a $12 billion sales gain for not only food retailers, but also CPGs. Now let's look at SmartGate.
The SmartGate is the application of RFID technology at checkout. Instead of there being lines and checkers, there will be a gate with readers that as our customers finish their grocery shopping, they will go through that gate. It'll scan all items simultaneously. We'll total their groceries and we'll bill them, or we'll charge them. They can accept the charge on their mobile device and they'll walk out the store. We believe the Smart Gate is your golden gate because of its ability to improve the customer shopping experience and also improve our profitability as retailers. Let's see what that could look like.
Excuse me, sir. Forgot your receipt.
Checkout lines. Who needs them?
Have a nice day.
Who's tired of waiting in line? I know I am, and I know many customers are. The Smart Gate, with its pass-through design, can take customer wait time down from 4 minutes down to less than 30 seconds. At the same time that it reduces the customer wait time, it can improve the scan accuracy at checkout. Instead of having a checker that scans item by item, all items are read simultaneously. Now, I was a checker, and I spent a lot of hours in a check stand, and I don't like to admit it, but I know I made some mistakes, and I probably let a case of water or two go underneath without ringing it up. I know that checkers can make mistakes because I know I did. But the Smart Gate will reduce the amount of checker errors and reduce theft. But more importantly, the Smart Gate has the opportunity to reduce labor costs drastically by eliminating the need for a checker and the task of scanning items one by one. The Smart Gate can deliver more profits to our bottom line, or more savings to our bottom line than our current profits. Now, Bob will take us through the financials of how we get there.
If we no longer need, with the elimination of the registers, we will no longer need the use of cashiers. Cashier labor accounts for about 1% of weekly sales. If you take a look at a 500,000 sales per week store, that's $260,000 a year in savings just on the front end. That's one store. For 100 stores, it's $26 million. Now let's move on to the ROI. The equipment, the readers, integration costs, and training for this technology is about $150,000. The savings I showed you today was $650,000 with reduced shrink and labor savings. But we're going to reinvest $350,000 of that that savings, and we're going to put it back into labor to improve customer service in the store. That's still a $300,000 savings per year. The ROI is 100% on that savings. It not only doubles a store averaging $500,000 a week, its bottom line, but also improves its customer service.
Now, if you still have doubts about this technology, let me remind you of the history of our trusted UPC barcode. You see, the first patent for this technology was in 1948. But it wasn't until 40 years later, until the 1980s, until it reached mainstream acceptance into the grocery industry. That's right, the grocery industry was not a fan of the UPC at first. In fact, Businessweek published an article in 1976 entitled "The Supermarket Scanner That Failed." Now, it's easy to see why retailers and manufacturers alike were resistant to this technology. When they heard about it, they said to themselves, I don't want to invest all that money into expensive scanners. And manufacturers, on the other end, thought, well, do I really want to spend all this money putting tiny coded stickers onto each and every one of my items? The bottom line is, the resistance to implement this technology resulted in decades of missed opportunities to increase sales and improve operational efficiencies. Let's not let history repeat itself. Now, item-level RFID is no longer just an exciting concept. We've shown you that it has proven success. The capabilities are more advanced than ever, and the tag costs are at an all-time low. We've also walked you through how the Smart Gate can deliver labor savings of 1%, how the Smart Shelf can deliver shrink savings of 1.5%, and how it can increase sales by 2% due to a reduction in out-of-stocks. Now, that is a $12 billion opportunity for our entire industry just with the reduction of out-of-stocks. It is clear that we have a collective opportunity on our hands, but we also understand that we can't go about doing it alone. So what's your first step? We ask the industry leaders sitting in this room join the GS1 item-level RFID work group in order to adopt an industry adoption strategy that will allow our industry to thrive for years to come. By joining this group, you will position yourselves as a first adapter when the technology becomes ready to implement. Now, what exactly does GS1 do for you? By joining this work group, they will provide you a forum that will allow manufacturers, retailers, and industry associations such as the FMI and GMA to come together, discuss opportunities, educate themselves, and share their challenges with this technology. They will also assist and aid retailers in implementing the technology when the time comes, and also with manufacturers to work past any issues they may have implementing it into their operations. Now, the last piece GS1 will do for you, they will connect you with industry supporters that will provide solutions to how to implement this technology. Now, we asked at the beginning of this presentation, how many of you believe that brick and mortar will still exist in 10 years? Team Smart Store is here to tell you that it will. However, the landscape is going to be drastically different. It's up to us to adapt and evolve with it. This is the crucial time for us to invest. And item-level RFID is the crucial enabler that will allow the industry to thrive for years to come. We ask that you reach out to GS1 today so you can see how you can thrive with it. We thank you for your time, and we'd like to open it up for any questions.
Excellent job. Thank you very much. Data security is a big deal with the consumer today, and it is with all the businesses as well. How do we get over that skepticism in the consumer's mind in terms of data security and implementing this type of technology?
That's a very good question. We spoke with GS1 about this issue as well, as we were first concerned when looking at it. The ownership of the actual technology at the chip level will be owned by the vendors, and that information will be encrypted. And there will be the IT departments of each and every company will own that. When they work with retailers, they will actually share that encryption with those particular companies, but nobody else has access to actually change the information within the tags or the security. The other nice thing about this technology, we're talking about printable technology here. So that's a passive RFID tag. Once it leaves the store, it actually can't be tracked to the consumer's home at that point. So it really has to interact with an RFID reader, and the control of that reader is managed by the actual manufacturer that produces that tag.
I like the 100% ROI. What can you install? In your analysis, in your analysis with your 100% ROI, what is the tag cost you're assuming there? And is anybody in retail space, grocery retail, testing this today that you know of?
Good.
You know, right now, we do not have the tag costs involved with the ROI. It's just the equipment and the labor savings. And I'm sorry, what was your second question?
Is anybody testing this technology in our space that you know of?
In grocery today?
That we know of in grocery, there are no tests. However, retailers such as Kroger, I know, have also began implementing it within their apparel, so in their supercenters. So really within the clothing industry, as we showed you, there's some examples like Macy's. American Apparel is also an example of a apparel company that is implementing this technology. And Levi's as one of the main manufacturers that's working with Kroger to implement the technology.
Great job. As you think about, a lot of traditional grocers are represented by collective bargaining and dealing with unions. And of those groups, cashiers are probably the biggest group in those bargaining units. Have you given some thought as to how and why unions would work with companies to be able to sort of change the face of the checkout?
Yeah. So we've seen this in our warehouses that have gone to automated systems. There's been a transition, and there's going to have to be some communication between the unions, and there's going to we'll have to line that up going down. We talked about repurposing some of the labor from the front ends and back into our service departments where we can really make an impact on customer service and giving our customers a great shopping experience. We feel like there will be an ability to speak with the unions down the road, and then we can make it work just like they have in warehouses today with automation.
Great job, everybody. I'm curious on your checkout, your Golden Gate, I believe you called it. Has the technology, how is it looking at random weight? How's that going to handle bulk or random weight purchases going through that tech?
The random weights, it would have to go to a item level, or sorry, we would have to go unit on items for that to work. With random weight, there would still have to be a scaling process. They haven't gotten to a point of technology that they can figure out the weight, but we project that to be coming down the road here in the near future.
Outstanding job, you guys. Quick question, though. There's a lot of value for the retailers, and you did a great job showing that. What's the value for the manufacturer?
So for the manufacturers are actually already implementing a lot of this technology at the pallet level, as you may be aware, and also at the display level. Understanding that tag costs are coming down, it's becoming more reasonable at the item level. The benefits for the manufacturer, there's a lot to do with the supply chain efficiencies of this, as far as receiving and actually invoicing and bill of lading with trucking. Also, inventory management. The out-of-stock numbers we presented to you today, those are valuable for the retailer, but they're just as valuable for the manufacturer as well. That's a big, big number for our industry. And overall, just the consumer engagement. So with the RFID tags, Skylar brought you through, and Sal brought you through some of the engagement in store. So, but with the RFID and the more information that's coming to the consumers interacting with their mobile devices, they have a bigger opportunity to actually do direct mobile marketing to the consumer shopping in the store. So there's also some consumer reach and engagement benefits as well. Overall, though, we feel it is a collective opportunity. Understand the investment up front, but big savings overall.
Thank you very much, Team Smart Store.